one of the most feared monsters in history. Could she have actually been innocent? Medusa's true story is very different from the one you've always been told. Today, I'm taking you back about 2,500 years to ancient Greece. Almost everyone has heard of Medusa, a terrifying creature with snakes for hair, whose gaze could turn anyone into stone. But here's the interesting part. Medusa wasn't born that way. In fact, quite the opposite. According to legend, she was one of the most beautiful women of her time. Her long, golden hair was especially famous. People traveled for miles just to catch a glimpse of her. At a young age, she became a priestess in the temple of Athena. It was considered a great honor, but it came with one strict condition. She had to remain chaste for the rest of her life. And that's where everything changed. One day, Poseidon, the god of the sea, saw Medusa. He became obsessively drawn to her. According to one of the most well-known versions of the myth, Poseidon assaulted Medusa inside Athena's temple. Up to this point, the story is already tragic. But what happens next is even more shocking, because Poseidon is not the one who is punished. Athena believes that her sacred temple has been defiled, and she directs her anger at Medusa instead. In an instant, Medusa's beautiful hair transforms into living snakes. Her face becomes terrifying, and she is cursed with a dreadful punishment. From that moment on, anyone who looks directly into her eyes, without a single exception, will be turned to stone. Just imagine it. No one can come near you. No one can touch you. No one can even look at your face. Loneliness becomes Medusa's greatest punishment. People no longer see her as a woman. They begin telling her story as that of a monster. Years pass. Then, a young hero enters the story. Perseus. A king gives him what seems like an impossible mission. Bring me the head of Medusa. Accepting this task is almost certain death, because anyone who looks directly at Medusa turns to stone within seconds. But Perseus relies on his intelligence. Athena gives him a shield polished like a mirror. Hermes gives him a razor-sharp sword and a pair of winged sandals. Perseus never looks directly at Medusa. Instead, he watches only her reflection in the shield as he quietly approaches. And while Medusa is asleep, he strikes. With a single blow, he cuts off her head. Just when it seems the story is over, one of the most extraordinary moments in Greek mythology takes place. From Medusa's severed neck, two beings are born. One of them is Pegasus, the legendary winged horse that still appears in movies and video games today. The other is the mighty warrior Chrysaor. Perseus carries Medusa's head with him afterward. He uses its deadly gaze to turn his enemies into stone. Eventually, he presents the head to Athena. Athena then places Medusa's head upon her own shield. What was once seen as a terrible curse becomes the greatest weapon of a goddess. But perhaps the most fascinating part of the story begins here. Many modern mythology scholars and literary researchers argue that Medusa was never the true villain of the story. Instead, they believe she was a tragic woman who became trapped in the power struggles of the gods and was punished unfairly. Maybe that's why people have continued talking about Medusa for more than 2,500 years. Because sometimes the people history remembers as monsters are simply those who were transformed by unimaginable suffering. So what do you think? Was Medusa truly a monster? Or was she a victim of injustice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to follow for more, because in the next video, we'll uncover another forgotten story from Greek mythology.